This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com, and I'm back with my second Breeders' Cup Win and You're In video this week. I just looked at the Princess Rooney Stakes. You can watch that one on my channel. That is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint at Gulfstream Park on July 2nd. In this video, I'm going to do the Stephen Foster from Churchill Downs on July 2nd. Win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic, and some other races that I'm going to be covering in this series this month. I'm going to be doing the Haskell from Monmouth Park on July 23rd. Win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic, and I'll also be covering the Bing Crosby from Del Mar later this month. That will be on July 30th, a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Speaking of Del Mar, I'm going to be covering, as I do every year, my full cards from Del Mar for the summer meet. I'm going to be covering each and every day at Del Mar, and if you're interested in purchasing any of those full cards, you can purchase the entire meet. You can purchase weekly packages, you can purchase weekend packages, or individual full cards if that's what you want. And they'll be available all summer long at the runawayhorse.com on my sales page. And I'll be continuing this Breeders' Cup Win and You're In series throughout the rest of the summer and into the fall. Now let's get into the analysis of this race, and I'm going to be doing the 10th race from Churchill Downs on Saturday, July 2nd, 2022. The 10th race will be the Grade 2 $750,000 Stephen Foster Stakes for 3-year-olds and up, 1 mile and an eighth on the main track. Scheduled post time, 5:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Number 1, Caddo River. This is one I've always liked. Was on the road to the Derby in 2021. Won the Smarty Jones Stakes as my top choice when I did my On the Road to the Derby video series, and won that one by 10 lengths. But then the next start in the Rebel Stakes, chased the pace and weakened to 5th. Then ran in the Arkansas Derby, battled on the pace and finished, just held 2nd that day at this 1 mile and an eighth distance. And then they decided that really couldn't get those classic distances, so they decided to skip the Triple Crown Series. He actually cut back in distance in the Woody Stevens. He chased and retreated. And then Brad Cox ended up giving this one some class relief in multiple starts since then, and has run well. Late in 2021, dropped into an optional claiming race, crossed the line first, but was placed 2nd through disqualification, and then stubbed his toe in his first start this year, finishing 6th by 14, but has been pretty good since then. Bounced back with a 3rd place finish from post 10 on Feb 19, and these are all optional claiming races. And then last 3 starts, 1 mile and a 16th at Oakland on a good track, stalked the pace, won by more than 5. May 1st, stalked the pace from 2nd, won by more than 5. Last time out, stalked the pace in a 1-turn mile at Churchill Downs, won by 4. So he's 2 for 2 at Churchill Downs. His only start at this distance in the Arkansas Derby, finished 2nd. I used to think this one had some distance limitations. Now, if you look back at his form, he used to really like to be up on the pace earlier in his career, using a lot of that, expending early energy to get up there, and just didn't have as much to offer in the stretch unless he was able to get loose like he did in the Smarty Jones. But now this year, and especially in his last 3 starts, he's been much more relaxed. The paces have not been quick. He's been able to relax off of those paces. And each of those last 3 victories, they were slow early, fast late events, and he won them all easily. So he can adapt to various pace scenarios, and I think the race shape of this race, it looks like it's going to be more on the slower side early and faster late. And he's got the inside post. They can kind of do what they want. They can go to the lead. They can stalk. They've really taught him to relax this year. So I wouldn't be surprised, even though he has the rail, if someone else wants to go, they're going to let him go, and they're going to try to save ground stalking the pace. Either way, he should be in the hunt from the outset. Number 2, American Revolution. This one for Todd Pletcher. 7-2 morning line. Luis Saez will ride. 5 for 8 lifetime. He's 4 for 6 on a fast track, and he's one that definitely has a lot of ability. His speed figures in here, he's one of the fastest, if not the fastest horse overall on paper if you go by his fastest races. But that wasn't his last race when he returned from a layoff from December of 2021 to June of this year, 1 mile and an eighth in the Blame Stakes. He was out in post 7 that day in a 7-horse field. He stalked wide. He made an early move to be close to the leaders, and then he just didn't have enough to offer late. He finished 4th, beaten 3 lengths, but the top 2 finishers, Dynamic One, his stablemate, and then Proxy, who's also in this race, they rallied from off the pace, and they were the first 2 finishers. So American Revolution, coming off that layoff, at that 1 mile and an eighth distance, may not have quite been fully cranked. Even though Todd Pletcher is a good layoff trainer, he's very good second off a layoff as well. So I think he's going to be much tighter this time. I think this was the race that they had in mind. He does reconnect with his winning rider, Luis Saez, who was aboard for his victory in the Grade 1 Cigar Mile, the Empire Classic at this distance in the slop at Belmont, the Albany Stakes at this distance at Saratoga, the New York Derby at a mile and a 16th, and then Saez was also aboard for his maiden win at Belmont Park. So Saez rides him well. He's got early pressing versatility. They can kind of place him anywhere they want, and I think he can improve second after a layoff. Number 3, Olympiad could be the one to beat in here. He's 5-2. He's your second choice on the morning line. He's 6-for-9 lifetime with a second and a third. He's 1-for-1 at Churchill Downs, 1-for-1 at this distance. His victory at Churchill Downs was the Grade 2 Ali Sheba on May 6th, where he stalked from second, and he won nicely, and he was losing Lasix that day, so he can certainly run without Lasix, which he won't have in this spot. And then his mile and an eighth victory was in the Grade 2 New Orleans Classic, where he stalked from second, took over, and was best over Proxy that day, who's also in this race. So Olympiad, excellent form. He's fresh now. He's got that tactical speed. Solid contender. He's a solid contender on pace and speed figures, current form, and I like the fact that he's a bit fresh as well. And then Bill Mott also having a good meet at Churchill Downs, and Junior Alvarado rides this one well. Number 4, Title Ready. Looking at the race shape, he's probably in trouble. He likes to rally from off the pace. Plus, he's 0-for-6 at Churchill Downs with 3 third-place finishes, and he's 0-for-7 at a mile and an eighth. So this Dallas Stewart trainee, if you're going to use him at all, probably 3rd or 4th. I can't see how he could really do much better than that, considering the race shape, considering his record at this course and distance. Number 5, Proxy. It's pretty consistent. He's 3-for-11, 5 seconds and a third. The one thing about this one is he's 0-for-4 at a mile and an eighth with 3 seconds and a third. So it looks like, if you look at his form, a mile and a 16th. Probably his best distance. He did win at a mile and a 16th against Optional Claiming Company in his first start this year. Last year he had some success in the stakes ranks. He was on the Derby Trail. He ran in the LeCompte Stakes. He was second behind Midnight Bourbon. He finished in front of Mandaloun. Mandaloun turned the tables on him in the Risen Star in his next start, and then in the Louisiana Derby, he was 4th, and then they decided not to run in the Triple Crown Series. They ran him in the Lexington Stakes. He was 4th prior to coming back this year. And I mentioned that he won his Optional Claiming comeback, and then he was second behind Olympiad in the New Orleans Classic. He ran in the Ben Ali Stakes. He was 3rd there. And then last time he was in the Blaine Stakes, he was second from that inside post. So he saved some ground last time, and then he moved out and he rallied. And now Luis Saez rode last time. He won't ride this time. Joao Rosario will ride, and he'll be stalking the pace. But I don't think this is his best distance, and he could be losing ground stalking the pace. I just think some others just look a bit better than him on paper. Number 6, Mandaloun. He's the one I'm not quite sure what to do with. He's your 2-to-1 morning line favorite. He's certainly capable of winning this race. He's 6-for-10 lifetime. He's won twice at this distance, and he's run well in both local starts. Now, we haven't seen him since the Saudi Cup, and in that Saudi Cup in Saudi Arabia, he was on February 26th at a mile and an eighth, 14-horse field. He was 9th, beaten 18 lengths. He was expected to do much better than that. He just did not run his race. Maybe he didn't like it there. Don't know what the deal is. We know he's better than that. He won the Great D Louisiana. That was on January 22nd. He stalked the pace from the inside post that day. He had a good season as a 3-year-old. He was placed first through disqualification in the Grade 1 Haskell. He missed that one by a nose. He won the Pegasus Stakes before that. In the Kentucky Derby, he finished second. And then Medina Spirit later on was disqualified for a medication violation. Mandaloun was placed first there. And then he won the Risen Star, and he was 3rd in the LeCompte. So he's one that he was a decent 3-year-old. He started his 4-year-old season the right way, but then he didn't run well last time, and this is his first start back. Not quite sure what we're going to get from him. I think he's certainly capable of winning this race, but I wouldn't want to take a short price. And then number 7, Last Samurai, will round out the field. For trainer D. Wayne Lucas, John Court will ride. He was an upset winner last time when he was in the Dallas Stewart barn. He was almost 13-to-1, and he had an inside trip from post 2 all over the pace, and the pace was slow in the Oakland handicap last time. That was a Grade 2, and he dominated that one. He won by 4. That was an upset win. You had to go and look at his other form, and he did win a little stakes race at Oakland Park, a late 2021, and he won an optional claiming race on turf last year as well at Colonial Downs. So his form overall didn't look to be graded quality. He was in the Razorback, and he wasn't really a threat there. So he has to prove that he can run two races he is 1 for 5 at Churchill Downs. He's 1 for 3 at this distance, and that win was last time. I think he's probably a bit up against it. He's looking at a wide trip in here. So Mandaloun's your favorite, but I am going to try to beat him, but I would not be surprised if he ran well. Wouldn't be upset if he ran well. I'm just not going to play him at a low price. So now I'll give out my top 2 selections in here. My second choice is going to be the 3 Olympiad. I really think he has a good chance to win this race. He's won his last 4 starts, excellent tactical speed, excellent speed figures. He's 1 for 1 at Churchill. He's 1 for 1 at a mile and an eighth. No real knocks here at all. As the second choice, I think he probably should be the morning line favorite, or he should be the post time favorite. I'm going to go with the 2 Americanrevolution. I just think that he's one that he's got to move forward. He almost has to move forward in his second start after a layoff. He was a bit disappointing last time, but he earned some really nice speed figures last year. He's a Grade 1 winner. He won the Cigar Mile. It's just a question of if he can improve enough second after the layoff. What kind of trip is he going to get? I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go to the front, but if Caddo River goes to the front, I would expect that he's going to be sitting second, and the pace is not going to be quick. So number 2, Americanrevolution, over number 3, Olympiad. So I'll make a win wager on the 2 Americanrevolution. I'll box the 2 and 3, Americanrevolution and Olympiad. If there's a horse that you want to play, I think, and throw into the trifectas at a bit of a price, I think Caddo River could be that horse. He's in good form right now, and it's just the right time. He's sharp, stepping up into the stakes ranks, and he's had past success in the stakes ranks, albeit against a lesser company. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content, and that will wrap up my videos this week. And I'll be back next week, and I'll have some more horse racing videos. Until I see you next time, good luck at the races.